Hey, Speedway fans, how are you? Welcome to episode 22 of Speedway Chat Live, coming to you this Wednesday night, September 6, 2022, from a sunny Southern California to around the world. I'm your host, Ken McKinney, your extreme Speedway racing action, XSRA.TV Speedway producer. Thanks for joining me here on episode 22 of Speedway Chat Live. On this episode, we're going to chat about the finals of the AMA National Speedway Championship. You know, the 3-race series. And the round 3 of the 3-race series will be coming up to Auburn's Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway 2 weeks from now, September 16th. And XSRA.TV and me, I'm very excited to tell you about our pay-per-view live stream coming from that event again this year. More on that later, but as I always say, if you can't make it to the track, bring the track to you on XSRA.TV. Now, this show is going to focus on the AMA National Speedway Championship. And Speedway fans, I'm stoked to let you know, Billy the Bullet Hamill will be on the chat tonight. Yes, we're going to also welcome back, coming to the chat as a guest co-host, Aaron Fox, who will be joining the show shortly. We're also going to chat with David Joyner, the promoter from Fast Fridays, about the big AMA race at Auburn in 2 weeks. It's going to be great. All that and more coming up, so stick around. Spoke to the track with Billy Gennaro riding
XSRA TV, watch Speedway, Southern California, yeah!
Watch American Speedway on XSRA.TV.
Hello, I'm from Laguta. Hello, Speedway fans from America.
Yes, it's a Speedway Chat Live, episode 22 of Speedway Chat Live. This podcast is about American motorcycle speedway racing for American motorcycle speedway fans. Thank you, everyone who supports and watches this podcast. I want to ask you to please give us likes and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our Facebook page. I need your subscriptions, and it's free. I know all you guys like free, so it costs you nothing to subscribe. It costs you nothing to follow the Facebook page. And I got to tell you, this week, we reached 2,500 subscribers. The last time I told you we had 2,000 subscribers was in May. It's taken this long to get 500 subscribers. I know there's got to be more than 500 Speedway fans out there, right? I mean, 500? Please. We need you to subscribe to the Speedway XSRA.TV channel on YouTube, because I think it would be great to get at least 3,500 subscribers before the end of the year. It looks really good. And so let's get into some Speedway news. Why don't we? You know, like I always say, I get my Speedway news from SpeedwayBikes.com, hosted by RC Jones. It's full of Speedway schedules, races, race reports, racer biographies, pictures, and more. It's a great site, and I recommend everybody who's involved and loves Speedway to go check that website out. Okay, Speedway fans, let's get going. But before we get going, I'm going to welcome in our co-host for the night. Let me find him here in the docket. It's Aaron Fox. Hey, Aaron, how are you doing? Number 46, Aaron Fox, two-time U.S. National Speedway Champion. So happy to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. I'm glad to be back here. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be a part of this. And, yeah, ready to have some good discussions, and pretty cool to talk to 1996 World Speedway Champion Billy Hamill.
Oh, are you kidding? I'm so happy about that. I'm stoked. I mean, I've been wanting to get a Speedway champion on this show for a while. Finally did. And he's been involved with so much in Speedway, as you know. It's going to be great to talk to him about all sorts of things. But let's get into some Speedway news. Last August 26th was the 46th running of the California State Speedway Championship. You know that, Aaron? You know?
Yeah, I sure do. That was quite a season for me, and a season ending. I was down on points to third place. I needed to make up 4 on the night to make it to the podium, which we did. So that was a successful event for me.
Well, I'll tell you, the winner, that was the previous year, but the winner of this event this year is number 98, Rockin' Brock Nickel. He won his first California State Championship, and boy, is he happy. He had a great night going into the main, unbeaten with 12 points. Also unbeaten going into the main were Dylan Rummel and Max Rummel, and the young upstart, number 28, Slater Lightcap with 11 points. Hey, let's watch that heat without any frills, with no voiceover. Let's check out that event right now. What do you think, Aaron?
Let's go.
All right, let's check it out.
Everybody got it?
That was a great run, huh, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that track has provided some great races all season, and what a way to end it with a spectacular main event with the 4 guys that have been, arguably the most dominant. Yeah,
they have been dominating, and finally Brock got himself a win at Industry this season. He's been wanting that all year long, and we got to give a great big hand to fantastic job to Kelly Inman. Let's give him the air horn right here. A fantastic job to Kelly Inman. A total of 10 races this season, some on Saturdays. And what do you think about that? Industry running on Saturdays as opposed to always on a Wednesday?
No, it's a tremendous help for sure. Obviously, you're going to get more fans on a Saturday night, and more riders as well. It's easier. It's people have a lot going on during the week, and it's hard to get to sometimes during the week. And what it also does, it allows some of the NorCal riders to come down as well. They have all day Saturday to travel down to take part. So it strengthens the program, and all around it's good for the sport.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. I like those Saturdays myself. Wednesdays, even though I'm close by, it's not that easy to get to. But imagine if you're a NorCal racer and you want to get down there for an important cup. Saturdays are really more helpful for you. So hopefully everything goes well, and then Kelly will bring back more Saturdays. If Costa Mesa is not running, why not, right? City of Industry is a good track, and Yeah, I think if Costa Mesa is not running on a Saturday night, why not, right?
Yeah, I do believe actually he's given out a preliminary schedule, and it consists of a lot more Saturdays than Wednesdays next season. So he's ever so improving that, and it's going to be big for the venue.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, so everybody stay tuned to this station and watch their social media, Industry Hill Speedway. Watch Kelly Inman's social media. They've got a great photographer down there who's shooting some great stuff for the racers. I wish I could do that, but I only got 2 eyes and 2 hands, and I can't be in 2 places at once. I know we'd like to, but that guy's got some great work, and it really shows the racers up close doing what they do, and that's racing. All right, so let's go on to Costa Mesa Speedway. Costa Mesa Speedway will be returning this Saturday, September 9th, for their last Harley night of the season, and the United States Championship, the U.S. National Championship, of which you've got 2 titles on, will be returning on September 23rd. So everybody make your plans to go to Costa Mesa Speedway for the next couple nights in September. They've got another night, I think, at the end of the month for the final one. It might be in October, but check their social media and their website at CostaMesaSpeedway.net. Aaron, today I tramped on down to Costa Mesa Speedway, got on 55 and went down there. It was really nice, not a lot of traffic, but I got a chance to meet up with Rad Brad. You want to check that out?
Absolutely.
All right, so here we go. I also saw Bobby Boogaloo Schwartz. Here you go. All right, there's Boogaloo Bobby Schwartz right here at Costa Mesa Speedway, his home track. Are you going to help prepare the track?
I seem to be here all the time, so it's good.
I saw you delivering food to everybody. Meals on Wheels?
No, just Del Taco, a breakfast burrito.
It always works. That always works. Great. You
Sorry.
can be here. You're going to be here this Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Always, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and I appreciate you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I know everybody appreciates seeing you out on the track.
Cool.
For your, what, 43rd year?
No, 48th.
48th year. You going to make it to 50 years?
You never know.
Hey, let's hope. All right, I got Brad Oxley right here. We're in the truck, and we're going around and pushing dirt. Brad, tell us about this weekend and the U.S. Nationals.
Yeah, so this weekend, September 9th, on Saturday nights, the Harley Night Finals features Speedway motorcycles, Speedway sidecars, and those awesome, hairy, hardcore Harley dudes racing their street legal bikes on the dangerous dirt track oval.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, Harley Nights are always super well attended and fun. So we're excited to have our final Harley night, and then we're prepping up for our 53rd United States National Speedway Championship. That will be on September 23rd, right here at Costa Mesa Speedway.
And tell me about the track. What's going to make this track a little different than previous years?
So we finished up the fair this year with a couple of freestyle motocross shows and the Speedway Fair Derby. That was our last events that we've had before today, and those fair events left the arena a little hammered. We did a lot of cleanup, and since we had the place all torn apart, we decided we'd go ahead and change the configuration of the racetrack a little bit. We made it a little wider. We banked up the outside of the straightaway to fill in a little gap we had up to the crash wall. And it's just got one nice, perfect taper on it, and the track is approximately 3 or 4 feet wider all the way around.
There's going to be a lot of bumping and grinding in the corners then.
Yeah, I think that Costa Mesa Speedway is a bit of a paper clip, and by that I mean it's long and narrow, and so widening up the track, and especially widening up the corners, shortens the straightaway a little bit, makes the track a little bit rounder, a little bit more graceful, and I think it's easier to ride and we haven't had it this wide in like over 20 years.
Well, that's going to make a lot of difference for these kids who haven't ridden on this this track like this in the past.
Yeah, we had to like move a lot of dirt to make that happen. The reason we don't always do it is because there's a certain amount of time we have to do our turnovers, and it really takes a lot of extra work to do that. So we put the work in, and I think it's going to make the racetrack really, really racy at the Nationals. Certainly make it faster and safer.
Fantastic. All right, everybody, get your butts down to the track here in Costa Mesa Speedway on Saturday the 9th, and then on Saturday the 23rd
of September 23rd, 53rd United States. Real, live, often imitated but never duplicated United States National Speedway Championship. One night only. Winner takes all championship events.
Right, and Costa Mesa Speed, what's your tagline?
Costa Mesa Speedway, don't be scared.
All right, everybody, see you there. Yeah, Costa Mesa Speedway, don't be scared. Now, it's going to be a really fun night down there this Saturday night, and I'm looking forward to going down there. So everybody, get your asses to the track. Right, Aaron?
That's right.
Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I sure will be.
Fantastic.
Yeah, to be determined if I'll ride or not, but I'll be there one way or another.
Whoa, you might get on the track. Wow. Well, that'd be something. What did you think about what he said, that the track is a little wider this time? Have you ridden it when it's wider? It makes it smaller, doesn't it?
I didn't even know he was able to make it wider, other than cutting in a bit of the infield. Yeah, but it certainly helps. Anytime you get a little bit more width, it obviously creates a little bit more racing room. Allows the guys to, have a little bit more confidence, and I guess maybe a little bit more aggression to get after it. So, yeah, no, it's amazing to see. I can't believe he's already getting started on a Wednesday for a Saturday's race, preparing a track. But that's a testament to how well his race surface is prepared, and that's why all the guys like racing on it.
Yeah, he said it's a brand new track, so they had to rip it up and put it back together. And I saw them; they're pulling off all kinds of doohickeys and thingies from the destruction derby that they had there, and all the other stuff they had there. So anyway, yeah, like I said, CostaMesaSpeedway.net. Check them out and look at their social media. They got a lot of stuff for you Speedway fans. And you knew about the U.S. Open National Speedway Championship in New York, didn't you?
Yeah, I sure did. That happened over Labor Day weekend. That's how Jason Bond Sr. runs his promotion every year, and runs the U.S. Open on Labor Day weekend, so he gets a good turnout. And I got to say, that was pretty incredible. And he's got some media guys running videos for him, and the things we saw afterwards, it looked like an incredible event. I actually talked to him yesterday on the phone, and yeah, it was real impressive, and sounds like they had a good one. And I'm glad that that happened for him. And you know what? He's got a lot of juniors in the pipeline, and there's going to be some pretty big things happening in the coming years for New York.
That's pretty good news, because we need an East Coast, West Coast type of rivalry to just bring it into the center, right? And meet in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have, a wide range of racers that, are from different states. There's a few in Colorado. Obviously, New York has theirs. I know there's a promotion trying to get going in Texas currently. So, anytime we can grow the sport and, make it nationwide other than California and New York is going to be good.
Yeah, that's good. And, we had a host of West Coast racers going up there. Chris Kerr, Dylan Rummel, even Slater Lightcap went up there. Brock Nickel was there. I saw some of Brock Nickel's video, and the racetrack looked a little rough, but despite having a lot of racers up there from the West Coast, we did not have a clean sweep in the field this year. So that means the New York racers really took it to the track in this year's U.S. Open, United States U.S. Open National Speedway Championship. I think he times that with the U.S. Open tennis tournament terming it that way. But if people are looking for U.S. Open tennis and they find Speedway, hopefully they become Speedway fans. But they had a 5-racer lineup on the main, and I poached some video from Nick Vosberg of Nick V Films. Sorry, Nick. Speedway fans have got to see this heat. So let's check that out right now. Let's check out the main event from the second night at the U.S. Open National Speedway Championship.
The riders are ready. We're going to turn it up loud one more time. Are you ready for your final race of the evening? All right, Chris Kerr from gate 1. Dylan Rummel, gate 2. Bradley Wilson Dean, gate 3. Looks like Casey in gate 4. Rock in gate 5. All right, let's figure out who the champ is going to be. It's time to get down to some fitness. Oh, good start for Dylan Rummel. Better start for Chris Kerr. Look at Bradley trying to hang it out on the outside. They come barreling down for turn number 4. Bradley got a little bit too far out. No, that was Brock Nichol that got too far out. He's sitting back in the number 5 spot. As they come powering down off the corner, Chris Kerr holds the lead with 2 to go. Bradley Wilson Dean is second. Donald fighting and going Dylan Rummel for third as they'll come down to the white flag. Chris Kerr trying to get himself a main event win. Bradley Wilson Dean trying to lock up the championship as they come down to the checkers. Kerr gets 10 points for the win. Bradley Wilson Dean gets 7 for second. Casey will get 5 for the third, I believe. And unofficially, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that will do it. Ladies and gentlemen, unofficially, your 2023 U.S. Open by Milton Chrysler champion, the Whiz Kid from New Zealand, Bradley Wilson Dean.
How about that track? And congratulations to Bradley Wilson Dean. You are the new U.S. Open National Speedway Champion, and for 2023. What do you think about that, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, for a guy coming across the pond, I think he's living in the UK now, and he hasn't ridden often in the past couple of years. I think he's done 1 or 2 grass track events leading up to this event. So. And he also doesn't have much experience on the small track. So I was pretty impressed with how he got around, and, he showed up to race and he made it happen. So I think that video we just saw was the 4th race of 4 mains as they run on Sunday afternoons. And the second place sealed the deal for him. So I think from what I had heard, he had gotten injured from a previous crash earlier in the night. And, he's going into once he gets back home to UK, he's going in for some observation and some x-rays. So it's pretty wild. He was able to pull through and still win the event.
Yeah, incredible racing. He looked pretty winded. If you say he hasn't been on a bike for a while, that's all conditioning, right? I mean, conditioning is very, very important.
Yeah, I don't think conditioning affects him that much. He runs grass track, and obviously those are massive tracks, in Europe that it takes quite a bit. So I don't think his fitness was in question, but he had a pretty big tumble earlier in the night, and he had to hurt his lower back and a wrist, is what I heard.
Oh, well, he gutted it out and got second place and won it on points. So that's very good. I know they have a bit of racing left to do up there in New York. I think they have an outlaw series, an outlaw thing going on, outlaw race at the end of the month going on. So all you East Coast New York fans, anybody down there in Jersey, anybody down there, get your asses to the Speedway track. Check them out at eastcoastspeedway.com. And finally, we're going to get into Auburn the big race at Auburn that happened at Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway. That's our big news for the chat tonight. Last Labor Day weekend, they held the AMA Extreme National Speedway Championship and the AMA Speedway Youth 250 and 150 national championships. Let's bring in that track promoter right now, David Joyner. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Ken, for having me on. Hello, Aaron. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Been spending most of the day out preparing for our demolition derby this weekend.
Oh, wow. Demolition derby. Yeah. You look like you got a little bit of sun.
Yeah, a little bit. It's nice and sunny and bright today, and it's scheduled to be that way for the next couple of weeks, I hope. Unlike last weekend when we had the national championship for sidecars and also the youth national, it was quite rained right up to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And pretty much all night long. And so the track conditions, I tell you what, my track crew really did an awesome job as far as getting the track together. The sidecars absolutely loved it. It was a great event for them. Now, the youth riders, it was tricky for them, but in the end, I think the track conditions were very reliable and very grippy. Most of the youth riders aren't quite used to it being that way. But it was a great event. It was a fun event. We, of course, we had some fantastic racing, and the sidecars were fantastic. It was nice to see Joe Jones win the national championship again. Of course, last year the champion was Robert Curry and his ex-wife Lori. So, yeah, it was a great weekend last weekend, and we're looking forward to the fair this weekend here at Fast Fridays.
Yeah, I was. Congratulations on the event. I was going to say there's 12 sidecar teams there. You had a good turnout, but Joe Jones and Tom Summers dominated for the championship this year. They got it back. Kevin Cale and Johnny Glover were in second, and Robert Curry and Lori Curry, they were in third place. And then your 250cc youth division, that looked like amazing. Darren first, Kensei Matsudara, his second time, I think, in a big speedway race on a 250, took second. Levi Lutz took third. Nick Holbein took fourth. That was a very good turnout. And then your 150cc youth, Ryder Schultz got first. Riley Rarick and Wesley Rarick, they got second and third, and Matthew Wright took fourth. Those Rarick kids, they come down here and showed the kids that we have over here in the South how to race. Those kids are really good. They're looking really good, and I think you got a good field of youth racers out there.
Yeah, we sure do. Both those Rarick boys have come out of our Pee Wee division, which is very strong here at Fast Fridays. We have about 15 to 20 Pee Wees every week. They, at the beginning of the season, have to sign up. We limit it to 25 kids, and that's pretty much where we hold it for the whole season. So the training grounds are proven to start here at Fast Fridays with the Pee Wees.
I agree. I believe it. What do you think about that, Aaron?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. No, it's exciting to see what he's got going on and you know what's going to be in the near future.
Yeah, I often say in my Speedway reports that the future of American Speedway is on the track now racing, and you really got to watch those kids. The 250 youth, they're just a few years from getting into that 500 series, and Kensei Matsudara, you'll watch that young man. He's very, very good. He knows he's got bike science down, because
he's a true racer.
Yeah, he races a lot of different types of bikes, and he's got some natural talent. I'm going to be watching that young man. So congratulations, Dave, on this last weekend. I didn't have any video from that. I did have some pictures, but I didn't get a chance to put them up. Or put them into the stream because I've been working my brain off. Anyway, I just want to now bring in our special guest, Billy the Bullet Hamill. He's sitting in his backyard smoking a cigar. There you are, Billy. You're not smoking.
Straight from Forest Hill, California.
Hey, Billy, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Welcome to Speedway Chat Live. I'm so stoked to have you on here and talking about your career and also talking about the big event happening the September 16th. But I'm going to move to the side a little bit and let the co-host of the Speedway Chat Live tonight, Aaron Fox, ask you a host of questions. And go ahead, Aaron. Ask away.
Right on. Thanks, Ken. Billy, thanks for joining us here tonight. Glad to have you.
Right on, boys. Thanks for doing what you do.
Fourth American Speedway World Champion. So we're coming up here on the 30-year mark. 1996 World Champion. Tell us how it feels to be a part of that rich history, in Speedway motorcycle racing.
Man, it is rich in history. I mean, 100 years, it's pretty amazing to be a part of that, that cycle. And I was just a small part of that, but pretty amazing to actually be a part of it. And, I truly believe the sport of Speedway is still the best spectator sport in the world. It's in, it's in your face, 0 to 60 with no brakes in less than 3 seconds. It doesn't really get any better than that. And I think I'm probably not the right person to answer that question. The fans are, but I can certainly tell you I'm proud to be a part of that history.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go back now. Let's talk a little bit about that season, 1996. You were first, and not far behind was Hans Nielsen of Denmark, and third was Greg. Tell us a little bit about that and about that season, and what had went on there to close that out to clinch that championship.
Well, at that point, it was there were 6 Grand Prix in the series. That was. I believe that was the second year that they brought the Grand Prix series in to replace the worn-off World Final, and I think the first round was in Wrocław, Poland, where I can't even remember now. I might have I made the main, I know that, but I didn't win it, and then. From there, we went to Lanigo, Italy, where I finished second behind Hans Nielsen in Lanigo. I honestly can't remember all the different rounds, but I know I won the round in Linköping, Sweden in 1996, which catapulted me up, I think, from 4th or 3rd to roundabout just behind Hans in second. And then from there it went to Hackney, England. And from Hackney, England, Hans and I were, I think, I can't remember who won the Hackney round, but I know that was the round before it, the final round, which was in Vojens, Denmark, which was Hans Nielsen's country. And he was 7 points ahead going into the final round.
Oh, no.
So he was pretty confident with the 7-point lead going into his final round. And so was the Danish fans and everybody, the media, everybody involved. So, I basically had nothing to lose and everything to gain. But I just kept my head down the whole time. And I'll never forget, we were in the changing rooms getting changed, and I started stretching, and I was just trying to get my body relaxed, and he was already in his suit, and he was ready to go too. We were ready to go into battle basically. And I was stretching before I got my suit on and all my safety gear. And he he actually came back in the changing rooms after he had walked out and said, I feel like taking a nap. And he laid down and like went to go take a nap on the bench in the changing room, which Aaron, you can attest, those aren't very comfortable, but at least to sleep on. And I thought at that point, I'm in his head. I'm in his head. It's some degree. So I knew, like, oh man, so you're saying there is a chance. One of those deals. So he ended up going out in his first heat and running a last. Well, that just motivated me even more and really kind of shocked the whole Speedway community, including the Danish fans. So then it was just a matter of me keeping my head down and going for it. So that's what I did until my last race. I actually had to let Mark Lorem and Sam Ermolenko beat me in my last heat, and I had to finish third. There was Mark Lorem, Sam Ermolenko, and Peter Protasevich. And at the last minute, my manager, Craig Cummings, came up to me and said, you gotta let Mark and Sam beat you in this heat. And I was totally in race mode. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why am I going to do that? And that was tactical to keep Hans out of the A final. So that I did that, and that worked. So that put Hans in the B final. And if Hans won the B final, that meant I had to win the A final. Second wasn't going to be good enough. And this was the last round of that series. So Hans went out. I'll never forget it because I was on top of the grandstands of the stadium, and they had a roof, so you could stand on the roof and get right over to the track. And he won the B final. And the crowd started lighting off road flares and air horns, the whole deal. And I just started, like, I've never hyperventilated in my life. That was probably the closest thing. That's the only thing I could describe is just I was just like, holy shit, this is it. This is your lifelong dream, you know? And I had to compose myself. I had to forget about all that and just think about what starting gate was I going to start out of, first of all, and then what rut was I going to start in a rut? Was I going to start in fresh? The basics that we all have to think about as riders. And I was able to block. I just totally blocked out the World Championship altogether, even though that was my lifelong dream at that point. And, just focus on the basics. And I went out with the four of us. We used to walk out to the starts, much like they do in America still. And I chose gate 4, and I just never looked back, really, and got it done. So it was definitely a magical moment. And Hans was very graceful in defeat as well.
Well, let me before you go on, I've got a heat from 1999. I'd like to show them. I think people will be impressed by seeing this. I look for a lot of video on you for your national your world championship. I couldn't find it.
Was this in Vojens, Denmark?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So let's put this up right now so people can watch Billy racing in 1999.
What a finale. Remember, this is the 6th of 6 Grand Prix. The winner of the A final gets 25 points. Yeah, Billy, that's what they're all looking for. These are the eliminations. Tony Ricardson on the inside. Jason Crump goes from gate 2. Remember, nobody has yet won a heat from the outside. The man in this one, in the yellow helmet colours, Michael Carlson. Billy Hamill goes from gate 3. Progressive with the inside, the most popular. And Tony Ricardson is right on the inside as the tapes fly up. Tony Ricardson holds pole position, but look, coming round on the outside in white, it's Billy Hamill. And look at the grip for Michael Carlson. He's shut out by Hamill in white, which gives Ricardson an opportunity on the inside. But there's a battle join here, because look at Carlson going through into second place. behind Billy Hamill. Hamill in the white helmet colours at the rear. Jason Crump, he has an awful lot to do, but what a battle now. Ricardson moving through there and battling into second place. What a race here, but Hamill is on his own out front.
Yeah, Billy Hamill has certainly got the bit between his teeth, but Tony Ricardson there, he rode exceptionally well over those bumps the first 2 laps to try and get ahead there of Michael Carlson, who was really putting him under pressure on the outside.
On the final lap, Ricardson has squeezed through into second place. He's still got a battle to hold him off. Coming through in the third now is Jason Crump, but on the outside at the back there, oh, what a battle, but Ricardson is going to hold it. He's going to march on behind Hamill. Third place goes to the man in yellow and black, Michael Carlson. He will have to battle again. Tony Ricardson gets second place. Jason Crump surprisingly last, but what a ride by Billy Hamill.
Yeah, what a ride. You must have been very impressive to a lot of racers over there.
Yeah, that was, that's when men were men. I mean, what a racetrack, what a race surface. They didn't have air fences. That's intense. And what a lineup there for a main event on such an event. So that's pretty incredible. Thanks for showing that, Ken. Next part here, I got a question for both of you, Billy and Dave. We'll step into fast forwarding to a week and a half from now, September 16th, AMA National Series finale at Fast Fridays in Auburn. I'll start with you, Billy. What is your perspective on the importance of this event and the series as a whole?
I think it's vitally important for American Speedway to have a national championship series which echoes or emulates the FIM World Speedway Championship it along the same lines, much like Wayne Rainey and Chuck Axlin are doing with Moto America, emulating World Superbike or MotoGP. Those two series, the rules packages are very similar. And it's, they're trying to bring the competition on a par for international stardom. And I think the AMA National Championship Series is trying to do the same thing. So as far as importance, it's vitally important for American success, not only here on a national scale, but on an international scale as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dave, being the promoter and the host of this final round, what year for AMA National Series is this? And likewise, how important do you see this being for the sport here?
Well, I think it's vitally important for American Speedway. A lot of these young riders that are coming up, it really gives them something to shoot for as far as the championship. As far as what year the series has been running, I think we've been running since about 1998, 99, somewhere in there as far as a series. Before that, the first AMA National Championship that was run away from Costa Mesa was in 1996, I believe. So is it important to American Speedway? All you have to do is ask guys like Billy Gennaro how important the National Championship Series is. Max Rummel, he's absolutely shooting for his second championship, I believe. And last year, him and Gennaro went down to the very, very last event. And when I say the last event, it was the main event, and Billy ended up winning his championship by 1 point. So guys like Max and Billy, there's a question if Austin Novertil is going to show up, but I can guarantee Max, Billy, Dylan, all these, I have to say Brock, this is very important for Brock, and he's going to take it all very, very seriously. And he wants a national championship. And at the world level, you have to be, I think it's in the top 3, if I'm not mistaken, in things like the national top 4. Thank you, Aaron. it kind of does fluctuate a little bit. So you have to be in that top 4 to get a work permit, I think they call it. A lot of that's based on the national championship, on the North American final, and things like that. So it's very, very important, not only here in America for the pride of our riders, but it's also super, super important for qualifying to go into events that are over at international competition. So,
yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to add a little bit of insight to that and into the importance of it. So, I talk to friends a lot, and I talk to a lot of people from up north, and they always refer back to some of the stories of I believe it was around the year 2000, and maybe even a few years after that, that both Greg and Billy would fly home in between rounds of their Grand Prix series to race this event. And so I've heard of some hectic first turn battles. I think it was the year 2000 where Billy was leading points, or he was second, and he was in a tight one with Mark Laram, and he flew back. And I think he was in a runoff there at your track to get in the final, went down. Billy, can you share a little bit more about that? Do you recall?
Well, I did get second in year 2000 to Mark Laram in the Speedway Grand Prix World Championship. And I think I won the national that year as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really recall too much from that particular year. I mean, the first national, which is kind of ironic, I won my world championship before I won a national championship. But my first national championship was 99, and there was a big first turn pileup, and Greg Hancock ended up pretty much laying it down into me, and I broke my thumb when that happened. I dislocated my right thumb, my throttle thumb, and we got back up and won the championship. Luckily, Dave was gracious enough to let me pull my motorhome right down in the pits, and I think we partied. I can't remember if it was a Friday or Saturday, but I don't think we left those pits until about Tuesday, that particular national championship. And Dave, you can probably attest to that.
I can attest to that, Billy. And we had many campfires and lots of drinks and lots of definitely staying up and watching the sun come up. And I can always remember, Billy, you had those washing machine basket fire pits.
Yeah.
And I see those they call them smokeless now. There's something like that. They're way more sophisticated, but it's the same thing, isn't it?
It's exactly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, those were some very serious years of the national championship. Regrettably, we're suffering a little bit with riders that take it serious, really, and I'm looking forward to really making this a special race. The AMA National needs to be, and Series needs to be a special race, and we always do our best here at Fast Fridays.
Let's get into a little bit of some stats now. For many years, Greg had the record at 8. Didn't think that could be beaten, but fast forward, the man himself, Billy Gennaro, comes in and he's now got 11. Billy, what are your thoughts on Gennaro? I know he's a longtime buddy of yours, and what are your thoughts on what he's accomplished for as far as this series goes?
I think Billy Gennaro's accomplished a lot, particularly here in America. I mean, we don't call him the honey badger for nothing, right? So he's been a great asset to American Speedway. And his will to win has been second to none. I mean, he's as tough as they come, and he backs it up wholeheartedly. So, if you look back at the generations, I mean, you said earlier about you didn't think Greg would ever be beat. Well, we never thought Mike Bass would be beat, right, Dave? I mean, everybody looked at that and thought, "Oh man!" But if you look at the eras of the championships, I think it'd be fair to say, and this is only my opinion, and if correct me if I'm wrong, but if you look at Mike Bass, his errors in his day, the field was a lot deeper in most cases, most years. I would say it was a lot deeper than it was during Greg's tenure as being 8-time. And I would say our era, Greg and our era was a lot deeper than Billy Gennaro's era. So, how do you analyze that? I mean, it's tough to say, but the beautiful thing about it is all three of those guys are great ambassadors for the sport and have been and still are. So it's American Speedway's been fortunate enough to have some world champions and some really good national champions that have been great ambassadors to the sport. So I have nothing but respect for all three of them.
Yeah, I think that many titles is a testament to their longevity. Billy especially, I know he spent maybe 10, 11 years abroad, still coming back, and 12, 13 years later, and he's still racing. And like you said, the guy's an animal, and he's always had that refuse to lose attitude, and he's a very tough competitor, and he's intimidating, and you can't say enough about him and how much he's done. So it's pretty spectacular. Do you think that there's anyone that could get close to that as far as that number of national titles?
Are you asking me?
Both of you.
I think it's possible, but I mean, it really just depends on where American Speedway's going to go. Are the fields going to get deeper in the future, or are they going to get weaker? I mean, that has to be analyzed as much as the guys winning the championships, multiple years in a row. So remains to be seen.
Yeah, one thing I see that happens is, as soon as riders, get themselves going, find their feet, find some speed here, they start looking abroad, and rightly so. But do we try to capture these riders to come back to ride these rounds? Do we make it? I don't know if there's ever been a rule, because we seem to lose some riders abroad, and you can't knock them for that. They're chasing, bigger and better things. But, is there a way we can get these guys back, for some of these bigger rounds?
Bring back the rider return.
I have an answer for that.
Go ahead, Dave.
And that went away a lot when we stopped having rider returns. And the rider returns were an agreement with the BSPA. We lost a good management with our foreign riders on just the desire of the riders to go there, and they really didn't worry too much. They wanted to be there more than negotiate a good solid contract that included returns requirements. And basically the AMA is the one that kind of falls off the contract negotiations, because the AMA releases riders to go race in a foreign country. These riders have an AMA, an FIM license that they get from the AMA, and it has to be issued from the AMA. The riders started going over to, especially England, and riding on a license in England. And the promoters there in England kind of facilitated that. And the AMA didn't say, no, we're not going to release you to race over there because you're under our wing as AMA riders. And they didn't ever press at that point a good contract that included returns to things like the AMA National Championship. When the AMA National Championship championship went to a series, it made it even harder for the riders to come back, because after all, it was in the contract, in the agreement with the riders to have returns, and the promoters in England pay for them. And that kind of went away with riders that were willing to go over there and not race with a contract that had that stability in it for American Speedway. And that all those agreements go way, way back with the days that Harry Oxley needed riders, and he didn't have enough riders. And we had dozens of riders that were going over to places like England. So he got together with the AMA and Bill Boyce and made a lot of negotiations. The riders all used to have to sign an agreement with the BSPA that included rider returns and things like that. So, the strength of American Speedway wasn't able to enforce that. And we kind of, the riders, we didn't have the knowledge because we didn't really have that good of management. It's not the riders' fault. It's not the AMA's fault. It's just a matter of the level of competency that the AMA and that would help the riders get good, solid contracts. And it was also management of guys that were in England and were able to help negotiate these contracts. And, in the end, it all kind of got dropped in my lap a little bit because Speedway wasn't that strong at the AMA. And, I did my best, and it was kind of at the end where these things, and Billy knows, I was going around there trying to help negotiate those agreements with the BSPA, and in the era that Billy Gennaro was there. So we tried, but everybody got a little bit more desperate to go over there and forgot about that we did really have a very strong position as Americans with the solid performance of the AMA always helped.
Yeah, I'd like to see that happen again. I for one, like this series. I love this series, and what a way it would be to have these guys return. We now have Luke Becker, we have Gino Manzarez abroad. To have them come back for the national series would be even better. And speaking of these upcoming riders, Billy, we've got a new fleet of guys on the 500s. Fresh off the juniors, we've got guys like Lightcap, Hancock's in there now, Alex Martin, Charlie Trana. What are your thoughts on this new group coming in, and what do you see those guys doing here in the near future?
Well, I hope I hope their heart's in it. That's the big question, I think, for most of the youngsters now. I will say that Lightcap, Alex Martin, not Wilbur. Who was the other one? You said Trana. But two out of four of those kids have came out of the Speedway Academy. The first time they ever rode a Speedway bike was when we did our Speedway Academies. And I'll never forget Slater Lightcap. The first time he got on a Speedway bike, he wadded himself into the Pirate safety fence pretty darn hard on the back straightaway. And we had a line of kids on the infield that we would basically just rotate them. We had 3 or 4 bikes. We'd rotate them, say, go stand in line when you're done. And that kid could barely walk, and he walked. He never took his goggles off, and he had big crocodile tears in his eyes. And he walked right to the back of the line without saying a word just to get back on. And I thought, wow, this kid's tough. And, that's a fond memory of mine. Whether he remembers it or not is a whole nother story. But I knew when I saw that, I thought this kid's got heart, So I would, I would just say that you got to want it. I mean, this is not an easy sport. It's brutal, but it's given me everything I have, and it's given me a lot. So I'm a big advocate for chasing it and for doing it, but doing it right. It's too dangerous to half-ass it, in my opinion. So if your heart's not in it, don't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's clearly too dangerous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll touch here again on your youth academy. I know you did some stuff in the in the past with the with a lot of the youngsters at Pirate and some other venues. But before that, I just wanted to say, going along the lines of their work ethic and the determination, I've had a chance to sit back this season as I'm not racing and I've been helping others. And I've seen those guys we're just talking about, and it's impressive, and in this day and age, there's a lot going on. There's social media, but I got to tell you, from what I've seen, and especially at the track, these guys they've got their heads down. They're working hard, and they've got their wits about them. So from my perspective, it's really impressive to see, and I'm excited to see these guys progress and continue to grow and see what they can do. But going back, tell us a little bit about your youth academy. We'll provide a clip here shortly about that. Tell us your thoughts on that.
Well, it was successful in recruiting, increasing the rider pool. And, if you look at the kids that are making the main events now, most of them, Brock Nickel, Dylan Rummel, Max Rummel, Slater Lightcap, they've all come out of the Speedway Academy at one time or another. So it's good stuff, and I've been encouraged by this season. I think the return of having Brock and Dylan back in the mix has really helped American Speedway tremendously, and kind of everybody's had to up their game, including Billy Gennaro and Max Rummel. So it's been inspiring. It's been cool to watch. We've got some great venues with obviously Fast Fridays, which is my weekly track. Industry with their Saturday nights. I mean, the energy there this year has been just electric. And then, I mean, the kick-ass racing that you see at Bakersfield with the banking and the size of that track, these guys are able to just kind of stretch their legs. There's a pretty good combination of really good tracks, and that could, good riders could execute. As far as the Speedway Academy itself, I've been working hard trying to gain some sponsorship to put together some more Speedway Academies. And Steve Evans has been on me pretty much every day, asking me when we can do one. And I'm, I've got to get my butt in gear. And I really appreciate his enthusiasm for wanting to take it on and participate with it. So, we gotta make the introduction to Speedway as seamless as possible and as easy as possible. And that's what the Speedway Academy really lends itself to, is giving the parents answers like, hey, how can we get our kids from Pee-wee racing to 150cc Speedway mini racing? And, that transition is, it's pretty intimidating, but if you can answer the parents' questions and provide them with the bikes, the boots, the steel shoes, and all the equipment, and make it as seamless as possible, I think the rider pool has a good chance of increasing if we just put our heads down and get to work for a couple years.
Now we're gonna flip over to a little clip here from 2010 at one of your academies, and you had a special guest with Bruce Penhall. So we'll check that out.
Hey, Billy Hamill here for the Hagen Shocks Joker Machine Speedway Academy. With me, my guest, Bruce Penhall.
Thanks, Billy. Nice to be here. You know, I got the call from Billy about a couple months ago asking to come out and help him with this school. Obviously, he doesn't really need any help, but I was honored. It's great to see what he and Joker and Uncle Dougie and all the rest of the guys are doing to help American Speedway. What I want you to work on, next time you come out, I want you to try to get your butt off the seat, okay? Because, and it's gonna be hard on your upper body because you're not used to it. But you wanna put all that weight on that right leg and get your butt off the seat as much as you can. Here you go, big guy. Okay, next time, this is what I want you to think about doing next time. Everything was good. You know, it's not about going really fast around the track. It's about now trying to start to slide the bike, right? Yeah. And every time you're starting to slide it, which is the right thing to do, is exiting the corner. That was perfect, okay? Just try to be smooth with the throttle. Keep that weight. Everything's got to be on that right leg. Okay. All the weight's got to be there. Your butt has to be off the seat. He goes good.
Oh my God. Smart too.
Guys are so hard to try to stand on the peg, you know?
Yeah.
And it looks like they're not standing, but they are. Good job. Next time, just try to be smooth as you can. Smooth is better, okay? Get all that weight on that right leg, okay? Even if it's a little bit funny on this side, maybe move out a little bit more. Just a little bit. Move out just a little bit more. Good job, you guys. Go tell Uncle D.
Yeah, that's pretty special. You can see how your passion for it, and watching on intently. And I remember seeing you at the track all the time in my years racing with you, and you watching these guys and paying close attention. So I agree with you. I think it's time you get your butt back in gear and we get these academies going and get some youngsters back on the bikes.
Well, yeah, it's what I want to do. And Bruce is, you can see in that video, he was so attentive to every little detail and such a great teacher and explained himself to the kids. And, he actually just wrote me a check to buy a bunch of Speedway boots. And he's like, yeah, let's do it, man. So he just cut me a check for a couple grand, and I was able to purchase some little, size 1 and 2 Speedway boots. And so we pretty much got our ducks in a row, thanks to guys like Connor Concrete, Bruce Penhall, and especially him and Bill Warnock and Nick Holbein Racing, Nick's dad, Hank, who is, a big proponent for, mini speedway, junior speedway, youth training. So it's hopefully we can get it off the ground soon.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be incredible. I'm looking forward to that. Let's switch gears here now. We're getting into a bit of the technical aspect of the sport as far as of training, preparation. I know for myself, I'll start off here. How it was so important, to be physically in shape. I remember, moving over to the UK, how much of a different style of riding it was, how much bigger the tracks were, the way the bikes ran, and that was a big eye opener for me. And then I moved back and won a couple and raced a few years. And then it wasn't until again in last year, before last season started, I really wanted to do well. And I trained my ass off. I ate right. Cut out the beers, for a while. And, I was pretty slim. I was down on weight and I rode really well, started the season off well. I finished 3rd in the season at AMA Nationals and then the American final as well. So that was pretty big for me. What are your thoughts? Go back to the time that you were in the Grand Prix series. Tell us some of the stuff that you had done to prepare and how important, being in physical shape was.
Well, I think physical shape it goes without saying. These bikes are alcohol breathing dragons, and you got to hang on to them, especially when Dave's National last Saturday track was quite grippy because of the weather, and these kids were not prepared really for, they just had never experienced anything like that. But yeah, I mean, we had physical trainers. We used to have testing with our teams, used to test us, especially in Poland. They would put you through rigorous training tests at the beginning of the season to see where your thresholds were. But the mental aspect of it is equally as important. But they go hand in hand. If you're physically in tune, your brain's going to be in a good place as well. So it really goes hand in hand. But I mean, I remember going to I can't remember the name, where they hypnotize you, hypnotists, to try and figure out things. And I would try to do things that nobody else was doing, because I didn't want to be average. I wanted to be world champion. So I had to go above and beyond in physical training and mental training. And equally as important was the machinery setup and having the right guys on your team to prepare your bikes for the 3 or 4 leagues we were doing at that time, plus the Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's it's incredible, and just like you said, good point as far as those going hand in hand, the mental aspect and the physical aspect. Because I'll tell you what, before season started, I got my butt in gear and I was in shape, and that boosted my confidence. I thought I can win everything, and and it helps tremendously. And yes, having the proper equipment and everything prepared on time is crucial. So yeah, thanks for that. Let's get into our last question here, and this one is going to be for both of you. This is going to be the second year in a row now that XSRA TV has broadcasted this National Series finale event. Now, of course, we always get a good turnout at this event, but for those who can't make it, how important is this, for this to be live streamed and people around the world to see this? Dave, we'll start with you.
I'm not a fan of the live stream, but I'm a big fan of Ken's and what he's doing for Speedway and trying to be, well, he's kind of our basic, our only media source in some respects, besides things like Facebook and social media. So I think it's really brings us a lot broader fan base, and I think it will bring us fans from around the world. So without that, not everybody's going to have a chance to come to Auburn. And this is the kind of event that should have that streaming available. Of course, I want the stands to be full with people, so it makes a good event and good atmosphere. Without Speedway and give you a good example. During COVID, we had a Speedway race here at the Speedway. We didn't have a single fan in the stands. And
not even cardboard fans?
Not even, no. I wish we would have thought of that at the time. It was very interesting, and we did live stream it, and it probably was 10,000 people were watching on live stream. We also broadcasted it up, very unique thing, up to the parking lot, and they had 2 very large screen TVs. It was like going to a drive-in movie, and you could hear the Speedway bikes racing. The announcer was down there, Ken was down there himself, and then it was broadcasted up to this drive-in, and it was very well attended. And as it turned out, it was very, very, it was very good. It kind of gave Speedway fans a little different perspective. And yet they turned out numbers because it was COVID and they wanted to do something. But my point is that without the fans live, it's hard for the promoters to make a living. without the fans live there, it's hard for the riders to have that electrifying feeling of the fans. And it's a little bit not quite as much action. And I think it was a little bit different and surreal, like when it happened. But it was a great event, and it goes down in the history books that it was a drive-in speedway. And a lot of people think, "What the heck was that?" But it turned out pretty good, and you know, I think we had the sidecars here, didn't we? Because the sidecars actually drove their bikes up through the parking lot and up through all the parked cars and everything. So I think it's extremely important, but it is a double-edged sword because I need the fans to come here, and so do the riders.
I agree. And I always say, if you can't get to the track, somebody like myself is going to bring it to you. But Billy, what do you think? For everybody to be able to see the track that has become your home track now, the stream will reach the world.
Well, you know what's the old saying? It doesn't take one person; it takes a whole village. And you know, I think that's why we support you, Ken, because your hard work and efforts that you've really displayed over many years now, and what you're trying to achieve is it's pretty cool. So you know, I support it wholeheartedly. As far as Dave's upcoming race, I believe it's on September 16th.
Saturday evening.
That's going to be a kick-ass race that Speedway fans are not going to want to miss. You know, there's titles on the line, but there's a lot of guys, like including the guy I work for, Louis Merceroli, who wants to win a Speedway National round, just a round, you know, and hopefully finish on the podium overall. So there's going to be a lot of good battles going on. For everybody's got their own personal project or ambitions for that particular night. So the final round of the AMA National Speedway Championship is not going to be one you're going to want to miss. If you can't make it up, watch it live stream. But if you're a fan and you live in Northern California, you want to come smell the methanol, smell the bean oil, and drink the beer and listen to Mike Rooney, because he's pretty special as well.
Yeah. I created something I'd like you guys to watch. It's my my little promo that I put together. I'll probably do another one, but check this out.
It's coming. Round 3 in the finals of the AMA National Speedway Championship at Auburn's Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway. And you can watch it all on XSRA.TV's live stream to the world. The most important individual AMA Speedway Championship in the nation. Max Rummel is set to retrieve his AMA #1 plate back from 11-time AMA National Speedway Champion Billy Gennaro. But Brock Nickel, Dylan Rummel, and Louis Merceroli are going to make him work for it. Saturday, September 16th, streamed live from Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway in Auburn, California to the world. Go to XSRA.TV and get your live stream pass today. Call your friends and have a party. The finals of the 2023 AMA National Speedway Championship, live from Auburn, California to the world. Stream starts at 7 p.m. First race cracks off at 8 p.m. California time. If you can't make it to the track, bring the track to you on XSRA.TV.
There you go.
I like that, Steve. I like that, Ken.
That's that's my homage to Larry Huffman, who I've always idolized as an announcer.
Well, you better do the Huffman hop then.
Yeah, I mean, I when I first went to Costa Mesa Speedway back in the 80s, when I was in high school, Larry Huffman's voice has always been appealing to me, and over the years, I've always thought it'd be great to do stuff like him. Now I have this bit of an opportunity, but I enjoy doing what I'm doing because I think speedway racing is very important. It's a worldwide sport. It's 100 years old this year. United States has pre-World War II skin in the game in 1937 with the American clean sweep across the podium. And then, we've got 5 world champions. And Billy, I'm so impressed and with your achievements on the track. And I'm pleased and happy to be able to speak with you all the time. And when I see you at the track. But Dave, I want to thank you very much for allowing me to come up again and do this. I think it's very important for people down here who can't make it to stay in touch with the sport in a way that, we don't have a national television base, but we've got this technology now. We should use it to its most and try to get as many new fans back to the sport and hopefully new riders. My thing I've always said is that there's probably a Speedway champion somewhere in Nebraska and he doesn't know it yet. And it's just that way. There's kids down here that are motocross racers and they get themselves injured on the track, but the dirt calls them. The dirt calls them and they want to go out there and they want to race, but they might be, just a little wary. And if you can't make those triples in motocross, you can't go anywhere. But if you want to race, there are AMA plates available for Speedway racers within this sport, which puts you in the history books. Right, Dave? I mean, I'm always preaching to you about this stuff.
I tell you what, I gave away a stack of them last Saturday night. And if you compared becoming a world champion or a champion in motocross, it's a lot tougher road than in Speedway. The numbers in Speedway are so much smaller, and it's so much easier to obtain the training from guys like Billy Hamill. It's so much easier to get on the equipment that pretty much it's kind of the same between one guy's bike and another. Definitely have the very easy capabilities of making the same. So what's going on? I think right now is important. I think your media production is very important. The live streaming, and guys like Billy Hamill are very important to training our young kids. But I do have to say one thing as I depart here. I want to make sure everybody understands that we've actually lost several Speedway icons here, especially in Northern California. On September 17th, and you won't get this part on the live stream, we are going to have a memorial for Harlan Bass Sr., who's passed away, and we'll have a memorial on that Sunday after the National. And it's been planned for that because we're hoping that people will come from Southern California and the Bay Area that know that, they'll have a chance to memorialize Harlan. We're going to do some special things at the Speedway on that Saturday night. Sorry, I'm used to saying Fridays. So I definitely don't think that that's going to be available unless you want to stay over, Kim. Maybe you can live stream Harlan sing, because there's going to be a lot of people there and a lot of Speedway legends and people that knew Harlan. I can't think of anybody he raced until he was 83 or 84 years old.
Wow.
So, and I've got a poster at home of Speedway legends, and Harlan's on one of them. You got Mike Bass and Steve Bass and Summer McKnight and all these old names. And there's Harlan right in the middle of them with the cigar hanging out his mouth. And you know what I mean.
I see that picture.
Chewing on that little stub of cigar. One other thing I want to say about Harlan, I really remember about him. He'd show up to the races in the same van since he's like 1968 or something. And he always had this rooster that rode on the back of his seat that lived in the van. And Harlan would drive up, and there'd be that rooster sitting on there. And that's a pretty unique thing. And
that's a great
Harlan
story.
was a unique man, and I miss him, and I have missed him for the last couple of years since he's kind of stayed away from the Speedway and tried to become a healthier person. And I think he missed Speedway and decided to give it up. So that's a good reason to keep coming, huh, guys? Keep racing. Keep your time spent at Speedway. It'll keep you healthy and grow old.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like Ken said earlier, the future is now, and likewise with what Billy had mentioned earlier as well. We need to collaborate. We need to just hammer down and keep everyone going. So it's a group effort, and it starts now.
Yes, the future of Speedway is racing now, and they definitely will be racing this September 16th, Saturday, September 16th at Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway for the round three and the finals of the AMA National Championship. Before you go, here are the standings from round 2. You do have Max Rommel ahead by 6 points, ahead of Brock Nickel. Billy Gennaro is in third, and Louis Merceroli is trailing behind in fourth. But like you said, you were 7 points down, Billy, going into that final, and you were able to get ahead of yourself. There could be a spoiler happening over here at Fast Fridays on September 16th, right?
Without a doubt. 6 points isn't impossible, and it's actually very similar, not quite the same format, but very similar. Probably a little easier to claw 6 points back. Nothing's over until the fat lady sings, as Larry Huffman used to say.
Right, Larry. But hey, I remember last year, Aaron Fox, he was down in points and came in third. Who knew that was going to happen, huh, Aaron? I remember when you're like, I don't think I'm going to go. And we're going, you got to go. You got to go. And you turned out to had a fantastic night. You were in great shape, as you said. And anything can happen. It's Speedway, huh, folks?
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't ever not going to go. That was always the plan, but I didn't think I can claw back 4 points and get Gino. He's a phenomenal racer. And, I happened to, be making some good starts. I wasn't necessarily quick all night, but I happened to make some starts and able to, stay out in front and had enough points to reach the A final and secure the podium spot for the series. So
yeah,
that was pretty big for me.
Well, as we said in the last podcast, it starts and then sometimes restarts that can trip up a rider who's up on top. So, yeah, like I said, anything can happen. And I'm looking forward to being there. Dave, thank you so much. Billy, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you up there. Aaron, I hope that you are going to make it up there. I could have a microphone for you to talk to people. If you're not going to race, you're not in the series. But if you do show up, it'd be great to have you join the podcast. The stream. But I'm really looking forward to getting up there and seeing if Max can get his number 1 plate back.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Going into this chat here with you guys, 6 point deficit, and I didn't think much of it, and and that's kind of seemed hard to claw back. But as Billy touched on earlier, he made up 7 points. So that just changes the whole perspective right there. And as everyone knows, Dave's got a tricky dirt oval, so anything can happen, and we're in for a good one.
Sometimes does. It sometimes does. Well, I want to thank you guys. We're going on an hour and a half. This is the longest but most professional Speedway Chat Live, I think, has been produced to date. And I think it's because all three of you guys in there, Aaron, you got to be on these more often. I like when you ask the questions. You're the racer.
So, Aaron, did you want me to add you to the list?
Yeah, I apologize not getting back to you yet. I didn't even consult with my wife yet, but what are we, a week and a half out. I get back from a cruise to Mexico Friday morning. I'd have to, I wouldn't be able to have any cocktails for sure.
Don't you know a cruise adds 5 pounds? So
yeah, I mean, I don't like any more. I have a hard time fitting in my suit as it is, and I like to be all in. So, we'll see. I'll give you a holler here real quick and let you know.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining Billy Hamill Racing. Watch Louis Merceroli on the track. And I'll see you guys at the track. And I want to say thank you very much. I'm going to cut you out of here. And Aaron, thank you for co-hosting. Wonderful, wonderful. Dave, I'll see you in a couple weeks. Billy, I'll see you in a couple weeks as well. Thank you.
Great job, boys.
Thank you so much for joining. And thanks for the kind words, Dave. And I'll see you guys later. All right. Aaron, great job. Thank you very much.
Ken, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you having me. It's it's awesome to talk to those guys and provide some insight to some upcoming stuff. So tune in, XSRA TV, September 16th.
That's right. We'll do it again. All right. Thank you very much. All right, there you go. That is the show today, the podcast. We're going about an hour and 31 minutes. I like to keep these things short. A lot of people just can't stick around for all that stuff. But I do want to show you this promo one more time. And then I got a Speedway flashback to 2014 you've got to check out. So check this out one more time and tell your friends if they can't make it.
It's coming. Round 3 in the finals of the AMA National Speedway Championship at Auburn's Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway. And you can watch it all on XSRA.TV's live stream to the world. The most important individual AMA Speedway Championship in the nation. Max Rummel is set to retrieve his AMA #1 plate back from 11-time AMA National Speedway Champion Billy Gennaro. But Brock Nickel, Dylan Rummel, and Louis Merceroli are going to make him work for it. Saturday, September 16th, streamed live from Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway in Auburn, California to the world. Go to XSRA.TV and get your live stream pass today. Call your friends and have a party. The finals of the 2023 AMA National Speedway Championship. Live from Auburn, California to the world. Stream starts at 7 p.m. First race cracks off at 8 p.m. California time. If you can't make it to the track, bring the track to you on XSRA.TV.
All right. Yeah, that's the promo for the live stream. Make sure if you can't make it to the track, get the live stream and have a party, have a watch party. I mean, I think that would make it so fun and bring people over that have never seen it before. And let's go back to 2014 with Billy Hamill, Max Rummel, and Sean McConnell. And oh my gosh, I forgot who else is fourth in this race. But check this race out. Watch where in 2014, Max Rummel was showing how dominant he will be these days.
Max Rummel lines up in 2. Bobby Boogaloo Schwartz in 3. And Sean Maddox McConnell. McConnell with a 22-inch wheel on the rear end. That's right, McConnell with a 22-inch rear tire. These those are wild. Watch McConnell try to hook up the curve on the outside of the 22.
It was Billy by a bullet. I love that. Terry Ike Clanton's such a great announcer at the Speedway races. You can see him announce at Harley Night at Costa Mesa Speedway this Saturday. I'll be there on turn 1 with the camera. Come by and say hi. If I haven't met you yet and you like what I do, come by and say hi so I get a chance to see who you are. And thank you very much for watching what I put together. But I don't do it alone. Everybody who's on the track, everybody that puts effort into this, they're all to be commended and thanked for doing it. I just am able to be a conduit to everybody and so that they can see it as well. So thank you very much and for joining Speedway Chat Live, episode 22. And I'm going to go out with my promo again. So make sure if you can't go up to Auburn Fast Fridays in 2 weeks from now on the 16th, you get the live stream and show it to friends and enjoy it yourself.
It's coming. Round 3 in the finals of the AMA National Speedway Championship at Auburn's Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway. And you can watch it all on XSRA.TV's live stream to the world. The most important individual AMA Speedway Championship in the nation. Max Rummel is set to retrieve his AMA #1 plate back from 11-time AMA National Speedway Champion Billy Gennaro. But Brock Nickel, Dylan Rummel, and Louis Merceroli are going to make him work for it. Saturday, September 16th, streamed live from Fast Fridays Motorcycle Speedway in Auburn, California to the world. Go to XSRA.TV and get your live stream pass today. Call your friends and have a party. The finals of the 2023 AMA National Speedway Championship. Live from Auburn, California to the world. Stream starts at 7 p.m. First race cracks off at 8 p.m. California time. If you can't make it to the track, bring the track to you on XSRA.TV.
Smokes the track with Billy Gennaro riding
XSRA TV. Watch Speedway, Southern California. Yeah.
Watch American Speedway on XSRA.TV.
Hello, I'm from Bogota. Hello, Speedway fans from America.